Hi, welcome to JJ's Productions. We've got another Stoke City Vlogcast. With me as always is Jan. How are you doing?
Hiya, folks. Hope you're all okay and you enjoyed the match on Saturday.
Yay, we went! Oh, it's been too long, I tell you. I'm going to say it was, despite the 1-1 draw, I don't think there could have been a better match as far as poignancy to go back to the Bet365 Stadium, and the majority of it did come before the match because, I mean, we've said it in the previous episodes, Gordon Banks was my mum's hero, and I want to praise those at Stoke City Football Club. They really did a fantastic tribute to the man, and I'm going to say I am so glad that we were there because if we hadn't, I'm not sure how much of it we'd seen or heard. So I'm just so grateful we were able to go that day.
Yes, very nice tribute from Stoke. They couldn't have done any better, and it's what he deserved, to be honest.
I mean, but like this, I'm usually quite stodgy with my emotions, but I must admit it did move me watching the video tribute, and then you got Jack and Jed Steer putting little balls in the centre circle and floral tributes, and it's, the whole thing was just choreographed, for lack of a better way of describing it, perfectly. So whoever was in charge of that, you've really done your job well there, so kudos to you.
Right, back to the match. I think the first half was absolutely top notch.
Yeah, I mean, I think first 15-20 minutes, I think it's probably the best we've played in a long time.
Yeah, I agree. And, I don't think they could have done any better if they'd have tried. They worked as a team, most of them. But it was just a shame that Sam scored and then had to go off.
Yeah, we're hoping he's back for the game coming up, so hopefully he is.
Yeah, I hope so. And I think Bath had a good game as well.
I don't know about you, I feel like that is the most dominant performance I've seen from a centre-half in a long time. I know we conceded the goal, but I feel like he was a real leader in that back four.
Yeah, and Jack, I've got to praise Jack.
He didn't.
He made some good saves.
I didn't see him do anything wrong, so, no qualms with Jack this week.
And then, me nemesis come on. I could not believe my eyes when he come on. And you know who I'm on about, Joof. What in God's name made him put that jerk on? He did nothing from the minute he come on to till the 90 minutes had gone. Nothing. He took a shot. I think that landed in my back garden. It absolutely ridiculous. And I never want to see him on that pitch again.
I mean, I have a bit of patience with Juve in the sense of when he came on, I thought, hey, this ain't going to go down well in the seat next to me. But I thought, okay, let's give the guy a shot. You never know. Maybe he was just struggling under the other managers, So you try and give him a clean slate. And he just didn't do anything. I mean, the way I see it is he was offside any good runs he made. The other good runs he made that were onside, he just had no pace to beat his man. And his hold-up play wasn't great either. So you're literally looking at all the possible components for a forward, and you're doing none of them.
All I saw him do is go for a ball and run in circles.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it wouldn't have bothered me as much if he was at least pressing the Aston Villa defence or doing something to at least contribute, but he wasn't even doing that. So, yeah, I think Nathan Jones might look at these options and go, Sam, are you fit? Can you hobble on one leg because we might need you?
I tell you what, hobble on one leg and he's better than Juve.
I mean, in all seriousness, I hope if Vokes is injured, and he isn't 100%, I hope we do rest him. But
mind you, Vokes did walk past us.
Oh yeah,
and he didn't look in serious pain. I think it was just precaution, don't you think?
Yeah, I think I'm just playing it safe with him because I think the game showed us how important he is to us, and if it meant we miss him for a game or two, but he's available for the rest of the season, I'd rather that than, rushing him back for the Forest game and then he's out till next season.
I'm just glad it wasn't his hamstring and it was a groin strain by the looks of it, where he was holding himself.
Yeah.
But as I say, he walked past us and he was going at the pace of the guy he was walking with.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look as if there's a big injury there.
I'm changing topic a second, but I've just had a quick look at the screen. I saw James McLean's face doing a silly celebration that FIFA likes to do. And I wonder what you thought of his performance, because I actually thought he had a good game.
Yeah, can't knock him. Can't knock him at all.
I mean, don't get me wrong, he didn't score or anything, there wasn't some magnificent output, but I thought he was...
He was winning the balls.
Yeah, I thought he was a good outlet of sorts, and when he did have to do a bit defensive tracking back, I wouldn't say he was 100% perfect. There are moments when I'd say, all right, you need to get tighter to your man, or you need to block a shot or whatever, but I think that's true of any fullback or wide man, so, I think there's always room for criticism there, so...
He held the ball well.
Yeah, I thought what he did well. And, I think that's more than what we can say about Juve, for instance. So, you look at it and you think, at least McLean, even if he isn't sort of providing the forward momentum we need, he is actually contributing, which I'm pleased about, because that's something I haven't been able to recognise when I'm just listening to a radio or watching television. So, it's good to see.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, I can't say anything wrong about him. Again... Joe Allen, he seems to be running about and getting nowhere.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just me looking at it, but...
I'm not sure how he got sponsors man of the match. I mean...
No, I don't know.
I shouted out at that.
Yeah.
I like Joe as a person. I've said it so many times. I think his best position is a deep playing midfielder. So what baffles me is why it was a 4-2-3-1 with Joe behind first Vokes and then... Juve.
Yeah.
It just takes him out of what I believe is his comfort zone. Even if maybe he isn't the type of player who can pick 30, 40 yard passes like maybe I'd got it in my head, you'd like to think at least he could do what Woods has been doing and play the short passes. I mean, I think asking him to play number 10 role, it just really gets him out of his comfort zone, especially when you've got someone like Bojan on the bench.
Yeah, I just don't think it suits him. And with him being small... You sort of see him running everywhere but getting nowhere. Yeah,
it's why people call him an headless chicken, because he's just running around searching for something to do.
Yeah, so I couldn't understand myself why he was their man of the match. Myself, Jack should have got it for them few saves that he did. We could have been 3. They could have scored 3 easy.
For me, it was Etebo man of the match. I thought he was always available for a pass, and when he did have the ball, he didn't do much wrong with it. Granted, he isn't a striker at the ball. When he gets... I'm going to come on to this in a minute, but when he gets a chance in the final third, I don't back him to take it, so he's always better playing it off to someone else. But I think what he does in the middle third is quite good. So for me, that was worthy of man of the match in that game.
I think as well, Saturday, they actually played as a team.
Yeah, I agree there as well.
And when I've watched them back, previous matches, they haven't been a team, and I've emphasised on this, that they were 11 individuals. But it seems to be knitting together.
I mean... I've got to move on to the second half, because Villa did come back into it stronger. So Villa supporters who are listening, don't think you're not going to get praise, because you did come back well second half. What irritated me from a Stoke perspective is that once Charlie Adam had run his race, because fair enough, he was flagging. What irritated me is that we didn't bring on Woods. And I've had a bit of criticism for saying this, because people are saying, oh, we put Clucas in midfield, so it's not like we lost a midfielder. But the way I look at it is, when you've got Clucas at left back, it's like having an extra midfielder on the pitch, because the way I see it is, the full-backs in Nathan Jones's mind are like wide men. So you take off someone like Clucas, who is pretty good out wide, and put Bruno Martins Indy out there as a centre-half. You're essentially taking off that option of a wide man. And I know we essentially went to a back 5 eventually. McLean sort of went to left wing back. But equally, it just annoys me that we didn't go for the more proactive choice, which is put Woods in and just try and keep the shape we'd been working on, if you like, which had served us well in the first half.
Yeah,
and instead we went...
momentum, didn't it?
Yeah, if anything, it was like saying to Villa, right, we've got nothing else now. You're going to have to attack us and maybe we'll get a break and score.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work well. I don't know why he went that way. I know we hadn't got a lot of midfield subs available, but, surely Woods was a better choice if you... Just to go like for like. I'm not even saying Bojan, because you could... I think some people's reactions to what I said on Twitter the other day were like I was asking for Bojan, and I'm thinking, no, I'm just asking for like for like.
Yeah.
And it irritates me because it just would have kept
people misconstrue the what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you aren't allowed to criticise Jones at times, and it is irritating me a bit because it's like, I like the guy, but, if he makes a baffling sub, I want to call him on it.
Yeah,
I've done it in the past with Rowett, when he used to make subs in games, bringing Crouch on for ints, I'd bring it up. So why can't you do it here? I don't know, it's, like I said last week, the fan base is a bit toxic right now. I haven't spoke about Stoke on Twitter for half of the week, just for that reason.
Yeah, they're very one-sided on Twitter at the minute.
If you aren't backing Jones,
Yeah.
100%, if you aren't saying something that is not 100% positive towards him, then it's as if you're being part of their version of the toxic fan base. And I think, well, maybe you're just being ignorant.
Yeah.
Or, as I said to one supporter, I said, maybe it's just a case that you're, what did I say? Hypocrisy. I said that you're just being hypocritical as far as it's all right for one manager to do this, but not for another.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, I saw a tweet, and this one guy just wanted the whole team to be changed.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, have you been sniffing beer mats or something? It was just a ridiculous comment.
Yeah, I mean, this is what gets me. I can understand if people are getting frustrated at people being that far on the extreme, but I'd like to think I sit on the fence pretty much. I'm not calling for anything radical, but I am willing to point things out if, I think there's something going wrong.
Yeah.
But, if you aren't 100% in some people's eyes on Jones's side, they call you. And I think, come on, at least allow some criticism. Otherwise, this guy's going to have a bunch of yes supporters.
Yeah.
A bunch of sheep. It irritates me.
Yeah. And he's got to be criticised.
How will he improve if he isn't?
Yeah. I mean, some of the subs he made was absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, I know Ince didn't do well the other day, and I'm coming on to him now because this is sort of where that not the Ince sub, the Adam for Williams sub irritated me because afterwards we bought a phobia on for Ince. And essentially that meant we got two strikers up front, neither of them have got a creative bone in the body. Then you've got three midfielders, none of them have got a creative bone in the body. So then you've only got the back five, and that really puts a lot of pressure on Edwards and McLean to get forward and try and whip in a ball, which they didn't really do. And it just combines two things I was coming on to, the idea that the midfield three, none of them take a shot from outside the box, and if they do, it's always terrible. And once we took Ince off, we hadn't got that sort of creativity that what I can only describe as the maverick. This player who can create something out of nowhere. We literally took away all our goal scoring opportunities with them two subs and didn't replace them with anything.
I mean, we just looked in an amazement, at what he did. And surely he should be criticised for that.
I mean, I get wanting to try and give players game time, but equally, pick your moments. I mean, if we were winning, it would make sense in a way to bring Williams on, but it'd just been after the goal, so you would have thought there'd just be a bit of him going, hang on, we've just conceded, should I hold off and just rethink this substitution?
Yeah.
But instead he goes ahead. Now, maybe it's something he'll learn from, because again, he's young. I'd back young managers to a hilt. I'd rather stick with Nathan Jones and let him see through what he wants to do than, change to for argument's sake, a Sam Allardyce. I'm just picking an old manager name. But, just the point being, at least younger managers can learn from the mistakes. Yeah. And it's just a case of, if they don't get called on the mistakes, how are they going to learn?
Well, I'm all for young managers, and I think in the end, he will do good for Stoke. But he's just got to learn by these silly mistakes that he's making.
That's the sort of sub you make in the final 10 minutes. Yeah. I'm going back to Williams again, sorry, but that sub is the type you make in the last 10 minutes when, you're sort of trying to hold on. If you, as in that situation we're in, when Villa are on top and we're just trying to stem the flow, just make a simple change.
Yeah.
Woods.
I mean, anyway, I would have brought Ryan on rather than Ashley anyway, because Ryan, I mean, they put him on as a forward the other week.
Yeah.
But he is capable of scoring a goal.
I mean, if anything as well, he's just a little bit more dominant in the air. In theory, anyway. I know you could argue both could jump the same height, but if there was someone...
Anyway, it was a daft bloody sub anyway.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to make head and a tail of it. So we're going to have to move on because we've got Jan's stats, we've got the Forest preview, and we've got 8 minutes to do it all. So let's see if we can crack it in.
Listen quick, folks. They've won 11, drawn 14. No, sorry. See, I'm going too quick now.
Take 2, folks.
They've won 11, drawn 14 and lost 8. The top scorer is Louis Grabon, is it?
Yeah, Grabon.
Followed by Matty Cash and Joe Lolly, who are both on 8. But Louis Grabon on 16. Very good. They're currently 9th in the league and we're 17th. Now listen to this for Yarlow. 67 yellow, 5 red. So they're ones that are going to come at us so hard. They don't care whether they get yellows or not. They're going to get that ball off us, come rain or shine. They don't care if they nobble us or not.
Did you get down who's had the bookings, or was it just a number you got this time?
It was just a number. There was just too many. There were 7 in one game.
Only reason I say it right is because I know 2 of their midfielders off the top of my head, Claudio Jacob and Jack Colback, and both of them strike me as players who will easily commit to a yellow if it stops an attack, and sometimes a red. So, I'm not too surprised by those stats. They have got very combative midfielders, but they've also got good flair in the team.
Yeah.
It should have been better considering what they spent in the summer. I think the Forest fans rightfully are a little disappointed with the league position. But, I think it's still good enough. If they have a good run at the end of the season, they could still get in the playoffs in theory.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't rule them out of that. I don't think they're in pole position, but, they are up there. They've got more of a chance than we have, put it like that.
Yeah.
So, I think Forest are an interesting team. I can't say with any certainty I understand why Aita Karanka was sacked. I know it might be a case of they were expecting to be in the top 6 and they weren't, so they've decided to make a change. But personally, anyway, I think swapping Karanka for O'Neill is a bit of a downwards change. Maybe again I'm just this idea of not preferring the older guard of managers, but O'Neill, I've got McLean in my head from Stoke. He's definitely on the wane a little. Well, at least he comes across that way in the sense of, Ireland didn't go well for him the last couple of years. It's as if the ideas he's had in training, they're not reacting anymore. And again, I know they beat Derby in the East Midlands Derby the other day, but it's like, really? It's like, okay, that was a good result, but is it an isolated result? Again, maybe I'm being harsh on them. Maybe there has been a better upturn than I've seen, but it doesn't frighten me going...
I look at where they are. They're 9th and we're 17th. But we shouldn't be frightened of that. We're good enough to take them on when we're on a good day.
Well, the thing is, we're good enough to take them on a good day, but we're bad enough to be thrashed by them on a bad day.
Yeah.
I think that's Stoke all round at the moment.
Yeah. I think if we could play like we did the first half against Villa, then we've got a chance of holding them and, not letting any goals in. But there's that threat that's going over me with these yellow cards.
Yeah.
That they just aren't bothered.
I mean, I've mentioned 2 of their midfielders, but Joe Lolly seems to have done well for the majority of the season, one of their own, and Ben Osborne, another one who's come through their academy. So there are interesting players who could get involved. I mean, we were interested in Osborne in January, and it was mooted to swap with McLean would be on the cards, but I think Forest thought we'd rather keep Osborne than go all out for McLean, and I think they were right to do that.
Yeah.
I think we'd have got the better deal had we got Osborne, even if we had to put some money towards him.
Yeah.
So, I'm quite interested because, I praise McLean in this video, but equally I think Osborne's younger, he's a bit more tenacious, so, I think they've got good players, and if we aren't
Yeah,
respectful of them, we could get thrashed.
I mean, just look at that. Cash and Lolly on 8. That's more than ours. And they're like in second place of the highest scorer for Forest.
Which leads me to believe their defence could just do a tightening up a little, which I find surprising because Ita Karanka is a very defensive coach. So if they were conceding that sort of goal rate, you think, what went on?
I mean, if we can just get on the front foot and catch them unawares straight off.
A bit like against Villa.
Yeah, I think that they're going sort of be shocked by us.
Yeah.
If they wouldn't expect that.
Well, I think we've got a hope for that. I mean, we've got a couple of minutes to go, so what are your predictions for the game?
1-0 Stoke.
1-0 Stoke? I'll go 2-1 Stoke, just for the fact that I'm going to hope, a bit like you, we get 2 early goals, we just shock them, but then, a bit like the Villa game, they get a goal back.
Yeah.
And then it's back to the wall for the rest of the game.
I mean, I actually put 1-0, but in my mind, I can see a few goals. I could actually see it being 3-2. But I've gone for 1-0. But I can see Stoke in the first half maybe scoring a couple more.
Well, here's hoping because, I mean, we haven't really talked about Forest much this season, just for the fact that, when the Forest games at the City Ground came around, there was stuff going on at our club we needed to talk about. But, I haven't got much against Forest. It's a ground I'd like to visit, to be honest. And, you think to yourself, it's unfortunate that they've had a change of management this season, in my eyes. I think, from what I heard, the fans weren't overly eager to get rid of Karanka. I'm not saying that they're upset about getting O'Neill and Keane in, but, I think they are a very different duo to Karanka. I think he represents the modern wave of management, like Mourinho bought in, if you like.
Yeah.
And then you've got, why do I keep saying McLean? O'Neill, and his more older style, because when you hear him talk about Brian Clough, you can't help but think, we're arcing back a bit here, so... Yeah, it's...
I took you up Brian Clough Way the other day.
I know. I'll tell you what, he's got a long road named after him. I only say it like that because we've got Sir Stanley Matthews Way. Yeah, by comparison, it's a little cul-de-sac. Come on, Stoke, give Sir Stan a bigger road. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting game, and I hope we can talk a fair bit about it in the next video because we will be going this game as well. So we're looking forward to having a good discussion about it from a Stoke perspective, and hopefully we'll get the win this time because I'm fed up with talking about draws.
And I've just got my tickets for Gordon's funeral.
So yeah, we're going there as well. So the next episode will be likely out on Tuesday, so hopefully we'll see you then, folks.
So, okay folks, I hope you enjoyed the match on Saturday. Let's hope for a good win.
See you around, everyone. Bye for now.